Welcome back to the Phillip Scott Show. My name is Mrs. Danielle DeVita, and I am a proud contributor. I have a video today about a woman who said that she's fed up with black men. I'm going to go ahead and roll that clip, and I'll provide my input afterwards.
Fully aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another black man is 1% at this point. They want us to be ride or dies until they get their shit together, and then they don't want to support us in return. They don't want to commit to us. They don't want to marry us, but then they want all the benefits of being a husband without actually proposing to us. I need someone who's intentional in every single aspect.
When you listen to women say things like this, you understand that she's been hurt, she's been jaded, and now she's taking her frustration out on an entire group of black men. So we're also going to disregard the fact that there's a baby, it looks like a boy, in a back seat, and while she's filming this video. So you had a child with someone who you now feel like has done you wrong in some way, and now your child's going to grow up and listen to a video about how you have just completely divested from black men because of your experience with this particular man. But again, we're going to digress from that conversation about the child. But what we don't realize is that when we are hurt, because of course we haven't dated every black man, but what we know is the men that we have dated have hurt us. But we have failed to realize that we hold accountability in that too. How long we stayed in a relationship with that type of man, how we procreated with that type of man, how we either never said our intentions in the beginning and we're just hopeful that they had the same intentions as us, or we said our intentions but we never followed through with it as we were continuing to date and say, hey, where are we now in this relationship? I've said often in my videos, I've even done a vetting video that when you're in a 3-month period of your relationship, you should say, hey, I was just checking up. When we first started dating 3 months ago, we said this is where our intentions are, and I just want to know if we're still on the same page. In coaching a lot of women, even men, they're in relationships 2 to 3 years and then come to find out that they don't have the same intent, or maybe those things have changed. So sometimes you got to put that on you, that you stayed in a relationship that long. Put it in the context of a job where you've been on a job for a long period of time and maybe you wanted to get a promotion, but you've never told your boss. And now you're upset after being on a job for 5 or 6 years and never told that your supervisor that you wanted a promotion, but you're upset that you've been not given the opportunity. But not that you applied for anything, but no one ever reached out to you about the opportunity for growth. Well, that's how it is in a relationship. Dating is intentional. It is. And it's not just to say that it's intentional, but you actually have a goal towards marriage, which means just like in a job, just like we have a job, you're going to do evaluations. Where are we now? How is our progress now? Are we still looking for marriage? What are you looking for towards marriage? Why are we not here yet? What's going on? Having that conversation. But sometimes people don't have the conversation. And then when it doesn't pan out the way they want, and then going into the situation about playing house. She was saying, they don't propose, but they want all the benefits of it. They want the benefits because you gave it to them. If they never had the benefits, then they would not be playing house because you would not have afforded them the opportunity to play house. You would not have given them the kid like a wife would. You would not have given them the goods, the cookie, like the wife would. You would not be taking care of their bills, their clothes, their food, and doing all the wifely duties. You would not have done that. And sometimes women want a guy to act like a husband and want husband duties, but they don't want to do the thing they need to do to be a wife. So understanding that is highly important. It's also important to understand that when you get with guys like this, because the guys that she named, those are really feminine type of guys. And what I mean by that is men who are okay with the 50-50, they are far from masculine. Men who are okay with women providing, women taking care of the bills, women doing this, those are feminine qualities, and they are not masculine. And when you attract those type of men that she was talking about, because again, masculine men are intentional, they usually know what they want. So when you're with this type of guy who has this feminine energy, a lot of times it's because you're exuding masculine energy. 2 things. Not only are you exuding masculine energy, there's some insecurity in you that you decided to stay with the man after you realized that the relationship was unhealthy. So when you realize, because most women realize either very soon whether he didn't pay for the first date or within the first few weeks of you dating or a few months, you realize he's not really the kind of guy, the masculine guy that I want. He's not providing in the way that I feel like a man should. But instead of discussing it and deciding to part ways, if that's not what he's going to, end up doing, providing, you decide to stay with him and hope that things got better. You thought, well, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that, maybe if I have a child, maybe if we do this, then we'll get together. And then after you've invested all your time, you're upset. And then you do it again in the next relationship, and then again in the next relationship. And after you've done this for about 10 times, now all black men are the problem. When really the problem is you and your vetting. It is you staying in a relationship longer than you should be in. It is you having some insecurities that you're not resolving, so you are drawn to these type of men. You in your masculine energy, so thereby you're getting men who have feminine energy, and they like to call themselves feminists. And we're going to talk about that in other videos that I have coming soon, because I want to deep dive into a lot of these issues. Some of it's propaganda, some of it's social media that's having you decide, I no longer want to be with black men, when really it's just the man that you chose. If you're cultured enough, if you've been around men of different groups, women of different groups, and you realize men and women are essentially the same. Like women of different groups, no matter what nationality or race, they're about the same. Same thing with men. If you put men in a room together, no matter what race or color or culture, they're probably going to have some commonality, especially as it relates to relationships. So understanding that is highly important. So I will go ahead and take a deep dive into the next video more about it. But again, I wanted to thank you again for tuning in to the Phillip Scott Show. If you haven't gotten the chance, go ahead and download the African Diaspora News Channel app, because on that channel, the African Diaspora News Channel that Phillip Scott has, it has a lot of content that will not show up on the YouTube channel. So definitely go ahead and download it and continue watching the Phillip Scott Show. To learn more about me, again, social media, you can find me at Mrs. Danielle DeVita. Take care.